seekers as well as IR seekers. The solid fuel ducted ramjet will give a boost to our air-to-air weapons. This will enable us to go up to 350 kilometers because we don't really need to store the oxidizer. We can take the air and use it for propulsion purposes. Malware analysis, single crystal blades for rival engines, space-based intelligence. A lot of things are going into space. That's the next frontier of war. Be it intelligence, picking up the emitters on the ground, or engaging in utilizing onboard assets. Everything, the new space is the new frontier. The lithium-ion batteries for torpedoes and missiles. A lot of critical strategic capabilities have got developed, and these are technologies which you will not get from anywhere. No matter how much money you are ready to give away, this will not come to you. The various kind of navigation sensors, ring laser gyros, for your own sensing position, gallium nitride, gallium arsenide devices, the MAMS devices, infrared, and optics. Large rocket motor propulsion, casting. It is a technology in itself, and this is what you need for your long-range missiles of 1,000 kilometers. And today you have capability to go up to 5,000 kilometers. Your own hypersonic wind tunnels, ceramic radomes, which are RF transparent to ensure the communication and the seeker's work. Carbon technologies, again, a very, very challenging thing, which is what you need when a missile go out of the atmosphere, and when they enter back into the atmosphere, the kind of temperatures that they need to withstand is the only material which works to ensure that the integrity of the structure is maintained when you re-enter, and then you can take it further. Some of the state-of-the-art facilities that have been developed and are available, the rail-fed cockpits, like this is where you test all the warheads before they go on board any missile. You can't really test the missiles with the warhead. So you first test the warhead on the ground and then integrate it with the missile and then with the warheads. The shore-based test facility, if you see the topmost picture is the aircraft which is taking off from a ramp. This is what is being made at Goa, and this mimics the aircraft takeoff as well as landing when it has to operate from a deck-based, from an aircraft carrier. So this is where you do the initial trials, evaluation before anything can even be tried out from an aircraft carrier. Similarly, the sea keeping and maneuvering basin is a facility which allows you to simulate the sea state. For any of your sensor weapons, if you really need to operate, you must understand how they behave if the sea state is 3, 4, 5. So how do you actually see the performance? You need to have instrumented sensor weapon, and then you need to control your experiment so that you see the behavior of these things. There is something that we have at Weathe where we do these evaluations. Similarly, the aeronautical test range for testing our unmanned aerial vessels, the torpedo launch and recovery vessel, extreme high altitude test laboratory. We have a laboratory at Chanula, it is at about 16,000 feet, wherein we do our experiments on various subsystems. The open range for RCS measurement, the middle picture, if you see there's an aircraft mounted on top of a pylon. So there you can mount any weapon or an aircraft and actually measure the RCS of that particular body, which is important for you to know as to what is your signature. When you go get into an enemy airspace, how much will their radars pick up? So towards Atmanirbharta, we have come a long way. Today the value of the DRDO developed system stands at about 3,93,000 crores, which are in the various stages of induction. We have achieved self-reliance in the area of missiles, fighter aircraft, radars, energy systems, software-defined radios, sonar, torpedoes, various kinds of bombs, rockets, and DC systems. Today, the technology basket required for configuring and making these systems is available in the country and is at par with those of the advanced nations. The industry base has also come to stay, and today, whatever we need can be made in the country. Now, the next agenda is to get the ecosystem right. If you remember, Mission Shakti, which was launched about 3 years back, and Prime Minister had come out in the media, this was something that was done in a short time of 2 years. and wherein you could neutralize a satellite in the orbit with a precision of 6 centimeters, and that too ensuring that no debris is minimal. There will be debris when you neutralize the satellite, but the debris has to be minimal so that it doesn't affect the other space objects. So this was indeed a great feat, and not many countries have got this capability. India stands in an exclusive club where you have your own strategic weapons in all the 3 domains: air, land and sea, and you have your own early warning and control system. You have your own ballistic missile defense program where you can engage and neutralize the incoming ballistic missiles. You have your own fighter aircraft, your own tanks. You can neutralize an enemy satellite if you wish to. You have your own artillery gun, which is the longest range in the world. That is, I would say, no mean achievement. Once you have the technology basket, you can quickly use it in times when you don't have, when other doors get closed. If you remember, during COVID time, we were running short of ventilators, we were running short of PPEs, masks. Oxygen became a real issue, especially during the second wave. So there is the technologies that were done for the MBC program, especially MBC protection, the technologies that were able, quickly we could use them along with the industries to get PPEs and masks within the country. And this was not that we did anything special for that. This technology was already existing as a part of our portfolio, which could be harnessed for other applications. Similarly, the onboard oxygen generation system that is used for the fighter aircraft, that technology could be used for generating our oxygen plants. So today, every district in the country has a medical oxygen plant which has been funded by PM CARES, and which was realized within a short time of 3 months, and then it took another 3 months to get them installed in the various cities because of the kind of requirement that was there. So that is the advantage when you have homegrown technology. Because if you are looking abroad at getting systems wherein the dependence on technology continues on foreign countries. Within industry, the ecosystem is very well balanced into the initial design development. Today, the industries have come to a stage where most of the fabrication work can happen in the industry. 3 decades back, this was not the situation. Most of the fabrication had to be done in the workshops in the DRDO lab. But today there is a huge change. Industries are coming forward, willing to put in their money, and there are more than 2,000 tier 1, tier 2 industries working with DRDO, more than 10,000 tier 3 industries, more than 1,400 PODs have been given to industries. A whole lot of revolutionary processes have been brought in to facilitate industry to do their best. There are industry partners who get involved with us right in the initial stages of development, and once the development and trials are over, they become the production agencies, so that knowledge transfer is happening seamlessly and in a concurrent manner. The IPRs are available to the industries. The test facilities are also available to the industry for exploitation. Similarly, academia, which is the agency which is expected to put in efforts in the initial TRL 1 to 3 levels. There are 10 centers of excellence in identified areas, the propulsion, high-level explosives. We have one in Delhi too, in the life sciences area, in the area of crypts, and 5 more centers are being now open. Also, initially there were just centers of excellence and we were restricting it to academic investigations. But now the industry is also getting incubated along with these academic centers, and they are becoming DIAs, Defense Industry Academia Interface. We also support a lot of extramural research across various academic institutions. There are 4 research and development boards, 2 in the areas of aeronautics, armaments, life sciences, naval sciences. There is a process or CARS wherein the lab directors themselves can identify specific specialities where they need to engage with academic institutions and give them contracts for getting some research work done. So overall, we are engaging with more than 300 academic institutions. About 1,200 projects are running. Overall, about 1,150 crores of money is being pumped into academic research. There are 1,200 research fellows working. Of late, looking at the growing requirement of defense, there is a DRDO MOE collaborative program wherein PhD scholars can come and work in the DRDO lab on defense technologies, and 38 PhD scholars are already working in their areas of interest in DRDO labs. We have also introduced defense courses both as an elective in BTech programs and also as an MTech program, and about 40 institutions have enrolled for this program, wherein this program is AICTE approved. So these programs will enable you to get more insight on what goes on into defense, what is required, and enable you to better handle the requirements of the when you come out of the institute. In addition, the internship that is available, more than 8,000 students get trained in the various labs for both BTech, MTech, MSc. Certificate course on both artificial intelligence and cyber technologies. 500 graduates in each course. This is being done by our Defense Institute of Advanced Technology at Pune, and more than 2,000 people have already completed this course. We have 5 young scientist laboratories, and these are working in niche areas of cognitive technologies, quantum, AI, asymmetric warfare, smart materials, and EM's vision of kind of putting the leadership initiative into the hands of youngsters. This is one of the efforts towards that, and a number of good outputs have come out of these initiatives. Some of the new advanced systems that we are working on, hypersonics is going to be the next major technology. So while we have done the technology demonstrator vehicle, converting into a both a glide vehicle or a cruise missile, the electromagnetic railgun, where without propulsion we will be able to engage targets at very, very high velocities. Similarly, the AIT, which will go the marinized version for the submarine. Some of the new areas for research. Besides these, the major flagship programs that have to be taken up, the twin engine deck-based fighter for the Navy, which will operate from an aircraft carrier, the lightweight tank, the long-range air-to-air missiles, the multi-mission maritime aircraft, the remotely pilot strike aircraft. So this will not only do the surveillance, it will also have weapons to neutralize enemy targets. Please look at, since this is an institution which is located in this campus, the Joint Advanced Technology Center at IIT Delhi. So how we work with them is the technology gaps which are existing or which we need to work for in the future based on the requirements are identified. 40 projects are ongoing, about 300 crore is the budget outlay, which is 25 industries are also working in this Advanced Technology Center on various problem definitions, and the startup incubator program is involved with the JATC. If you look at the technology first areas, and if any one of you is interested in any of these areas, there is an alignment. You could straight away get in touch with Dr. Rahman is heading the JATC care to get into touch with them. A lot of work has been done on the personal protection. Today we have developed together between IIT Delhi, industry, University Kanpur, the lightest bulletproof jacket has been developed. Before coming here, I just had a look at it. Similarly, the EM railgun technologies, terahertz, a lot of work is happening. Smart textiles for extremely high altitude. Today, if you want to go to the mountains for a trek and all, if you are looking for it, most of the clothing that you will find is of an imported origin. They are extremely high altitude. So with the new extreme cold weather clothing, we should be able to make it within the country. Similarly, the photonics technology, both for the propulsion as well as for the detection purposes, cognitive, these are some of the thrust areas and the verticals happening at the ATC. smart and intelligent jacket, which will not only measure the physiological, also it will give you an alert if there is a chemical or explosive contaminant in the vicinity, fire protective clothing, a lot of lighter than air material, aerospace hull material has got developed, devices for explosive detection using terahertz technology, high precision optical components. This is, as I mentioned, firefighting suit, both for as a structural firefighting as well as a fire entry suit. Today, till date, we did not have one in the country. We were importing. These have got developed and are far better than the imported one and are in the process of getting inducted. Similarly, the extremely cold weather clothing. So, to kind of summarize it, as I look at it today in the country, we have all the critical technology, all the ingredients for putting us into the advanced nations league. Everything is existing in the country. We just need to get the ecosystem right to capitalize on the strengths and the core competencies existing amongst these various verticals to get our act right as a country. So, and we all need to work together, academia, industry, R&D centers, so that tomorrow's requirement of whatever is required both in the defense arena as well as outside the defense arena can be met from resources within the country, and we are able to move towards the goal of Atmanirbharta in the shortest possible time frame. We strive towards going for zero import and exporting our own defense equipment in a big way. If you look at it, any US president comes, or for that matter Israel, Europe, whenever they come, one of the topmost agenda on their meeting with the political bosses is trying to sell out their own defense equipment, right? So we need to have confidence in our own capabilities. And all of you, the youngsters, you are the ones who have to kind of carry these thoughts forward. You have to identify what is it that you want, how do you want to take it forward. And there are a whole lot of opportunities available today, right? And today when you are sitting in this institute of learning, you are trying to identify ways for kind of expressing this education into how do you actually manifest it in your life. How do you need to work out your short-term, medium-term, long-term goals, and how do you kind of convert your goals, what is the mechanism that you employ for converting this, and how do your goals get aligned to the goals of the nation? How can you give back to the societies, whatever you are taking? How do we create wealth for the country? How do we are all a privileged lot. We are sitting in an air-conditioned room, we are discussing about this. There are a lot more people in the country who need to be kind of supported. Whatever is our learning, we take it to them. How do we generate wealth for them? Right? Based on your ideas, how do you align your career goals with the goals of the country? What is it that will you take? Is it by working in a research area, trying to work on the latest trends, or would you like to make the latest systems? Can you identify a need that is existing which is today not being met by the systems that are available? Can you conceptualize a system? Whom do you need? What is the kind of hand-holding amongst the various agencies that you need to take it forward? How do you do it? Right? So choose the right opportunities, see where your personal strengths, where your personal interests, where your personal goals get merged with those of the country, and also, and then go beyond. This is one dimension, what we can export, how we can take what we have done towards expanding. Government of India today is putting in a lot of focus in the area of defense R&D. If you have seen the budget announcements, you have seen 25% R&D budgets reserved for academic institutions and industry. So there are a lot of expectations from both these verticals to kind of strengthen the overall ecosystem to reach the goal faster. And only when we work together will we be able to capitalize it on it and take it forward. With that, I will end. Thank you so much. Jai Hind And I'll be happy to take on any questions, any discussions, any comments that you have.
Some of the best aircraft in the world, like Rafael and the Jordan, from the soil, or like Northrop Grumman in the US or Lockheed Martin, those are private companies. Why don't we have private companies in India manufacturing planes and weapons?
I think it is not proper. For the next generation aircraft, the advanced medium combat aircraft that we are conceptualizing, we are looking at the SPV model wherein the private sector would be partnering with the public sector. Unfortunately, today we are at that cusp where if you leave it to the private sector alone, they will not be able to take it away. So we need to move in steps. So the next step is an SPV where the public and private work together. And after that, private sector should also give us, we will be having one of our own, not the government and Lockheed Martin. I would also like to tell you that the Castle is now going to make some about 60 aircraft. Of course, this is under transfer of technology from foreign OEM. It comes, unless until you have walked through the steps, you can't really reach the top of the staircase. You have to go through the steps. So right now, the private sector is, I would say, in the first few steps of the ladder. So, but it's not very far. And if we continue at the same pace, we should be able to.
Tejas Mark 1 that we just, I think, inducted that recently to the Air Force. It took a lot of years, right? I think it took 15 years.
It took 7 years from the finalization of design to kind of roll out. But what happens is, this was the first time that an indigenous aircraft was being made. So the kind of testing that we need to do to cover the whole envelope of the aircraft. We have done more than 5,600 tests to clear the aircraft where it is fit for being inducted. So the testing phase has lasted more than the development phase, which is required. Fortunately, we had no accidents or incidents, so to say, with our own aircraft. Because the test points that we have chosen have been very well chosen. The first one to be made, it has taken a longer time. But we are still as per the world standard. Anywhere from giving the go-ahead. And for all of us, it was the first time. Right? Both for the Air Force, for DRDO, for the entire ecosystem, this was the first aircraft. So when you start out with a new project, even to conceptualize what you need, how you want to take it forward, it takes some time.
And for Sirius Mark 2, how much longer will it take approximately?
We have said that once we get a go-ahead, we will be able to roll it out in a period of 2 years. The complete design has got, that means the digital design is there on the system. Now what is required is a go-ahead to taking it forward.
Why is the manufacturing so hard?
Manufacturing is not hard. It's not the manufacturing.
Testing is good.
Testing takes time because you have to cover the whole formula. And it is again a system of systems. You have to have your avionics, you have to have your structure, you have the landing gears. You should be able to take that kind of loads. You need to have your own radar on board. You need to have your weapons because you need to fit them with up. So right now it is some governmental approvals are required for taking it further. Another question that has been plaguing us is that should we have our own engine or should we continue to go ahead with the imported engine? Today the government feels that it is not enough to take an imported engine and take it. The RAV that we had developed gave us about 80 kilonewtons, and at that time Air Force felt that 80 kilonewtons is not adequate. We need to improve the thrust. So that is time we kind of pegged it at about 90 kilonewtons plus. And that is why RAV could never get on board a fighter aircraft. But today, government is very seriously thinking that should we have an engine being made in the country, how do we take it? And that is where the LCA Mark II decision is also made. Right? How do we get our own engine so that tomorrow, if we don't get an engine, we are not left high and dry. How do we plug this gap? We're kind of just trying to close this issue, and as soon as there is a little clarity on that, it goes.
Is all the manufacturing automated? So like does 3D printing involved in making the entire aircraft? Or it's like different parts and then they are...
As I said, my up to today on the digital domain, everything is ready. So if you get money and you are getting the go ahead and the sanction, you can straight away launch the fabrication.
Thank you.
If there is any research scholar working in a DRDO, ARDB or ISRO project doing their PhD, so what is the opportunity after the PhD to join the DRDO as a scientist?
So one is they can continue the DRF research. What we done is the induction would be the regular advertisements that are there. The government is also kind of strengthening the industry ecosystem. We would also support all the programs that we have launched, the BTEC, MTech, as well as this fellowship program. We will connect, these institutions will get connected to the industries who are working in the defense domain. So if not within DRDO, you should be able to get a very good placements within the industries working on the defense systems.
Towards the end, we will take up the first topic. Thank you, Dr. Patrick, for a very informative presentation and indeed interdisciplinary research for self-reliance and achieving an institutional systems company we are trying to very inspired to working for. Now, without any further ado, I think we should begin with our one-on-one discussion, one-on-one interview. So, we know about your work role, we know about your professional life. So, on a more personal level, how would you describe yourself as a person? What are your interests and hobbies? The behind the scenes, if we don't get to know things and to other forms of the systems.
Am I audible?
Yes.
I'm a work planner. So, of late, I'm spending too much time in the office. So that was never there. When my kids were small, I could maintain that work-life balance, and I had a lot of support. My family has been my kind of anchor in allowing me to spend so much time in office. I also feel that all of us should take care of our health. Please find some time for yourself. Even whatever works for you, whether it is aerobics or any kind of western dance form or something. I find that 1.5 hours for myself in the morning. Evenings I don't know what time I might have. But that is kind of sacrifice for me. I do find the time for myself, and that is what keeps me going throughout the day. Because otherwise, I feel that I'm not doing justice to myself. You need to look after the physical body, and for that, you need to find your time, whatever works for you, morning, afternoon. So I do that. I am very, very close with family. In-laws, my mother-in-law manages my home. Most of it, if she's not there, I'm really kind of trying to somehow manage it, mostly now also. But I have been kind of fortunate. I've got a good support system, both in the office, out of the office, and that is very good. I also believe in spirituality, so that is something that anyone who is interested in can discuss it about. That is what gives you strength. In tough times, it gets you good. And then you are not very scared or not afraid of anything. That strength comes from within. You need to find that strength from within rather than anything else. That's what I probably do.
Thank you very much. I don't know how many of us are able to maintain a body routine, but that is something very ideal and desired. So, Dr. Patrick, if you don't mind, would you like to share some memories from your childhood? And an extension to that would be, like each of us has some kind of defining moment in our lives. So, was there any such defining incident which happened when you were young that kind of tested your life that you can follow?
I'll share something very, very personal with you. And I don't think any of my office colleagues also know about it. Normally, I don't like to talk about it. We had a very troubled childhood. I had a very troubled childhood. We had 4 sisters. I'm the second of the siblings. My mother was an educationist, and we, from the maternal side, we come from a family of educationists. My maternal grandmother, maternal grandfather, everybody was into the line of education. So education is the most important thing for the defining point. We had a troubled childhood in the sense that our father got separated, and that is where one of the bias, he wanted to have a son. Right? So the typical concept that the boys are, which is going to continue the lineage, and they will support you after you are not able to look after yourself. That thought process. So the dominant notion through those experiences, you need to be economically independent, no matter what you do. So no matter how much struggle I need to put in, during the childhood, that clarity emerged that you need to be financially independent so that you can take your decision and do what you need to do. So that was kind of, that clarity emerged very early in the childhood. And after getting married, today also, we are in a social system where majority of the household responsibilities come to the females, irrespective of what. Right? So I was fortunate, I got a very supporting ecosystem. And of course, not that physical work is much of a challenge, because we can afford to put people to help us. But somebody still needs to manage. Somebody still needs to run the show. Okay, this has to be cooked, this is required to be cut. So there are two options of dealing with it. One is you get into a tussle, this is not my job, why don't you do also, why don't we share the work and kind of take it forward. The other option is, if you have to do it, you might as well do it this way. Accept it, see how you can get the support and kind of carry on. There is no point being unhappy with what you do. Whatever you need to do it willingly, happily. That's all. Right? So I put in, I think, twice or three times the effort of the male counterparts to manage what I need to do, both in the office as well as home. But I do it happily. I'm not perturbed by it. I'm not bothered, okay, my male colleague hasn't done it, why did I do it? Nor do I get bothered at home. But I'm trying to invite that in my son as much as with my daughter. I'm not sure whether I've succeeded, but I try and give them an equal opportunity, equal responsibility, so that hopefully this bias goes on reducing over time. You know why it is important? Because for females to be contributing equally outside the home, you need to share the responsibilities at home. Unless until the men folk share those responsibilities at home, the females will not be able to contribute outside the home. Because home is an important area. Unless until you are all comfortable at home, you will not be able to contribute outside. And the growth in the country can only happen when all of us contribute, both men and female. Right? We all need to work outside also. Then only the growth rate is going to grow in the country. GDP has to grow. So this is a suggestion for all of you to think about it, mull over it, as to how much you are contributing in the home, whether you need to do better, how can you support. A lot of change has happened in the society, but I think we still have a long way to go. That is where all of you, I'm just giving it as a food for thought.
Thank you very much. So that was indeed a very challenging and difficult time that you had, and even today's STEM and research, these are two fields which are largely made of. So what inspired you to go and choose this as a career path? What was your inspiration? How did you ended up being where you are?
I wanted to work with the defense forces, right? And since I do something for the country, do something preferably as a part of the armed forces. But since that did not happen, the next best option is to meet their requirement through whatever profession you choose. That is what kind of made me join DRDO, and I have always enjoyed it. Even today, I don't mind even if I am in the office till 10 p.m. That's how my day goes.
So in terms of our defense needs, so can you see India becoming self-sufficient for its military needs in the future, and like more ambitiously, a large-scale global exporter of arms like countries like US, Russia is there, and how big is the scope for India in the global defense market say in the next 10 years?
It is export market is huge. Today itself, the Southeast Asian countries, Philippines, Indonesia, all of them are looking for sourcing presence. Russia, the Eastern Bloc is almost gone. Russia and Ukraine, who were our traditional suppliers, they are no longer there. You don't have a choice. You have to make it within the country. And that is how the government has also given a very, very clear roadmap. Now the only thing that we need to be sure is we don't go out of the Eastern dependency into a Western dependency. And that is where we need to get our act right. We need to get all the people. Everything that you need is available in the country. Everything. All of you. If you have seen, most of the IITians go and work for some major MNC outside the country. Right? So the brains are there. Right? It's just that we are doing this for someone else. We have to identify that requirement for doing it in the country. The ecosystem is very, very high. The ecosystem is very supportive. Whatever is required can be made available. We need to get the processes in place, and everyone is putting in their best to make that happen. If you feel any suggestions, anything that needs, if you feel that you have a good idea, you need to start a startup, you can make something that is required in the country. All you need to do is tap on one of the doors. And there are umpteen doors available, umpteen opportunities available. DRDO is one thing. There is an office of PSA trying to do something, office of NSCS. All the three services are trying to encourage investment and kind of induction, encouraging. Whole lot of efforts are there. We have to be centralized. It's just a question of how fast we kind of scale up. And it all depends on all of you. I'm banking and counting on all of you to kind of contribute in that effort.
Yes, indeed, Atmanirbhar Bharat is the new India. I remember all that from this talk. Now moving on, you also mentioned this in the presentation that PhD students can go ahead and work with DRDO and in research and in development of the capabilities. So how do you meet the students, experience the DRDO workshop or experience the DRDO labs? You mentioned something about the internship in the presentation. So you would have to elaborate on that.
So normally if you want to intern in one of the labs in DRDO, you can choose the lab where your specialization is getting aligned to the work being done in that particular lab. And you can apply online. Normally this internship is available for the last semester of industrial training, which as a part of your undergraduate program you are supposed to undergo. So that industrial training you can undertake in any of the DRDO labs of your choice. You can apply directly online to that particular lab and it should help.
Thank you, ma'am. We are now moving towards the conclusion of our discussion. So, any advice do you have for this very diverse crowd of students here?
Put in your best for your motherland. See what you can get. Today we have 5 young scientists in the country which are headed by scientists present and the opportunities are immense. I personally know of more than 20 to 25 startups, all headed by students who just come out of college less than 30-35 years, working in absolutely niche areas. I know the journey can be rough. Sometimes you keep knocking at various doors, you're not getting the right hearing, you're not getting the traction. Don't give up. Perseverance is the key. There is no reason why you will not succeed in the country. Umpteen numbers of make your mark within the country. That's all.
Thank you very much, ma'am. I think we can accommodate a question or two from the audience, if anyone has.
So ma'am, you joined DRDO in 1991 and then you did MBA much later years. So, how you realize that you need to do MBA? What's the need of MBA at that time? And the second question is, can master's students in the second year can do a master's project with DRDO? Is that right?
So answering the second question first, yes, feasible. You identify which lab your work is getting aligned with and you can apply to that particular DRDO lab. Now, I was working in the DRDO headquarters. And I realized that you also need to pick up some management skills to interface with multiple institutions and multiple organizations. And that time I was a youngster, 95, 30, and I had that spare evening. So I thought, why not upgrade my skills, and that should be able to help me in my further endeavors. And that is what prompted me to do my master's in management.
So basically, if someone wants to do the research and the management also, they can join the DRDO scientists, or they have to join as a DRDO something like that. If they want to.
All induction in DRDO is for scientists. Management was what I choose to do because of the portfolio that I was holding at that particular time, and it gave me that necessary skill set to handle that task better.
Any other?
Okay. How does DRDO works in alignment with other organizations such as ISRO and CSIR?
Wherever there is a commonality of work, it is mostly peer-to-peer at a working level. And with CSIR, we also have a common interaction. I don't know how many of you were involved. I think last month only we had a big meet wherein most of the CSIR institutions, now that we had a meeting at Hyderabad, second last week. So we can work on common, wherever there is a commonality, common projects can be taken up. And of course, the exchange of ideas keeps happening. With ISRO, it's on a need basis, because with respect to their civilian program and the defense program, there's a little bit of firewalling that is being maintained. But nevertheless, at working level, wherever required, there is an exchange of ideas and know-how that is.
What about bar? BRC?
Wherever required, as required, is happening.
I think we can complete one last question.
We need it as of yesterday. We need them as of yesterday, and as miniaturized as possible, as much power as we can pack it into it. For all the efforts that go, right? You want to start a startup for that, we'll be happy to help you.
Ma'am, like whatever we are performing at our startups, we are developing new technologies and all. How we can pass those technology directly to DRDO?
So one is there has to be a requirement, whatever you are giving has to be relevant to what I needed for one of my programs. So there is one scheme called Technology Development Fund. I do not know how many of you are aware of it, wherein DRDO not only does the handholding, it will give you the specific projects for development of the technology. In addition to financing the development of the technology, if any handholding is required by the concerned scientists, we also do the handholding in terms of various kind of technical reviews and all for taking the technology development further. But if you have got something that you have already developed and it is ready to go as a subsystem or system, maybe you can either get in touch with Directorate of Industry Interface and Technology Management, or you can even get in touch with me. You can see where to whom we connect you with, so that whatever you have done can straight away find an application.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kaushik, on behalf of the entire IT community. I would like to thank you for sparing your valuable time and having this very enlightening and motivating discussion with all of us. I look forward
It is my pleasure to be here, and I look forward to more such meetings, not necessarily in the IT. I know maybe the IT Fest is not very the right way, but otherwise also. If you think we need to engage for anything, we'll be very happy to engage with the students, either through the JAPC or otherwise. I look forward to engaging with the youngsters to take my agenda of Bharat forward. Thank you so much.